I had an experience, and I don't know if I gave the right response. I hope I said the right thing. It's important to me because this is a friend going through a season of discouragement. I bumped into her sometime last week, and I remember clearly the first thing she said to me was, "I've had enough." Then she went on to explain various mishaps that had occurred in the space of a week. Her car had been totaled. Her staff had made away with very expensive jewelry from her shop. Her son got in a fight in school and both boys had ended up in hospital. And then in the midst of all that chaos, she had lost a pregnancy. But as she spoke to me, I realized she was missing something. Provision had been made. There was insurance policies to cover the accident and the theft. There was enough funds to cover the hospital bills. And for health reasons, she was not supposed to conceive. She was on medication that could be harmful to the fetus. In a very unexpected way, God had made provision in a time of need. And this situation reminded me of the story of Elijah and his encounter with the ravens. He was sent into the desert for a long stretch of time, perhaps 2 years, and simply has to wait on the Lord. Here's a partial list of how I will describe the experience. Humbling. The one who controls the waters of an entire nation cannot control his own. The one who has the power over the highest clouds in the sky has to stoop down to a brook when he's thirsty. He has power over everyone, yet is himself completely dependent on God. Ravens as opposed to angels provided for Elijah. Ravens are scavengers, ceremoniously unclean and not so easy on their eyes. God's provision to Elijah comes in the least grandiose and the least expected way possible. The experience must have been lonely. Imagine not seeing another soul day after day. Even for introverts, that's unbearable. Relationships are the spice of life. It is not good for man to be alone, yet Elijah was alone. The experience must have been boring. Elijah has nothing to do but sit there all day waiting for ravens. No phones to play Scrabble, word puzzles, no books, no chess. I'm still learning to play chess, don't judge me. Anyway, all he can do is wait. This thundering prophet, unafraid to challenge kings and nations, is forced into passivity and inaction. Hopeless. Elijah would have felt like life was just passing by. The action was elsewhere. He did not even have newspaper to keep him updated with current events. He must have felt completely passed over and insignificant, confining. Elijah is geographically confined because he has to stay near the brook to drink. He could maybe walk around, but not far. He must have gotten really antsy after a couple of months. Repetitive. Can you imagine eating the same food every day? Bread and meat, morning and evening, day after day. No matter how much you like it, it can get quite tedious. I can't imagine it's very healthy either. And yet, in the midst of this very painful, weird season of his life, God was mercifully protecting, providing for, and preparing Elijah. Ahab has sent out spies everywhere to kill him. And so, aloneness and obscurity was the only way for him to be truly safe. He was providing for him through the ravens, the brook, and eventually the widow. God was faithfully sustaining Elijah. And so it is with us. In the midst of weird, mundane, and painful seasons of life, precisely when it may seem as though God has abandoned us, He's powerfully at work. He's protecting, providing, and preparing us. It is not a deviation from God's purpose. It is exactly where we need to be. It is not the end of the story, but the only way the story can move forward. So when my friend was done venting, I said to her, in the midst of this very trying season, I really do hope you see, recognize, and appreciate the silver lining. And I left. My intent was to open her eyes to God's provision in her situation. What if she could not afford her problems? I really hope I told her what she needed to hear. What do you think? Namaste.